Hello and welcome to the Armband. I'm your host Chris, and as always, Kieran is here with me too. How are you doing today, Keek?
Yeah, good since a few days ago. So yeah, all good. Thanks.
We're like smashing out the videos at the moment. It's fun.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah,
And only a week to go. Today's show, a little bit of a different one. We're going to cover some of the hidden gems that have been uncovered in pre-season, some top picks that are perhaps going under the radar. Just low ownership players who we think could be good picks for your team. So we got a couple to share each, maybe three or four. And after that, we're going to talk about our latest drafts. And then just quickly, as we've been saying on the previous episodes this pre-season, if you want to support us, you can do via Patreon, link in the description. And you get invited to a members private prize league. We're doing competitions throughout, so you can read more on our Patreon page about that. And additionally, if you've been enjoying our content, you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe. We would love to have more people on board as we start the season. There's been a great reaction to our pre-season content, so we'd love to keep that going and have you with us. We're aiming to do 2 shows every week this season, so it'd be great to have as many of the community engaged as possible. So we're going to jump straight into it and talk about, we're going to talk about defenders, midfielders and forwards. So we're going to talk about defenders first, low ownership picks who we think could be good value. Do you want to start it off, Keek, who you've been looking at in pre-season and could be a good buy?
Yeah, as I kind of mentioned in the other video, he's in my current draft. Neco Williams, he's still only 4%, under 4% owned as of recording. So actually 4.2 I've just checked. So yeah, his fixtures at Forest really good, like Brentford, Crystal Palace, West Ham, Arsenal, tough away game, but then Burnley and Sunderland as well. So yeah, the start fixtures can't really get much better, especially from a defender. They've had 4 clean sheets in pre-season. They've only scored 1 goal, which was
he got the
goal.
assist.
Well. Did he get the assist?
Yeah, he got the assist for it.
Okay, that's a good sign, of course. So you can't really go wrong with Forest defense. So people are looking at double ups. People are looking at, I expect their kind of clean sheets to go down a little bit, but these fixtures are there for clean sheets for sure. So I definitely want to have at least a bit of it or a piece of it. And Neco Williams, 0.5 cheaper than the other centre backs at Forest. One of the rare fullbacks who also looks pretty good for defensive contribution points too.
Yeah.
So if he can get that floor in every other game or something like that, and then possibly keep clean sheets, then he's looking like a really good option for 0.5 cheaper, as I said. So yeah, under 4%. I'm shocked he's not higher end, honestly. So he's going to be a good differential, and he might get some assists, as we've seen there, maybe end up with a goal eventually. And he probably has less attacking like goal threat than someone like Milinkovic from crosses and stuff. But great pick, I think. And if you need that 0.5, go for it.
And I saw a really quick graphic before we came on. Seb, just checking it out now. Seb _ FPL on X, and he'd posted a full DEFCON breakdown of Neco Williams from last season. And 28 appearances he had DEFCON points in 14 of them. So that's a pretty decent floor for a 5 million defender. Good, defensive team who also can get attacking returns.
Yeah, exactly. You can't really ask for much more, to be honest. It's the best of both worlds. So yeah,
absolutely. So I've got a pick as well, who's perhaps been overshadowed a little bit by his teammate on the other flank. So it's Juve from West Ham, 4.5 million. I've just loaded him up, his stats on the screen now, but he's obviously new to the league. Wan-Bissaka is interestingly the highest owned defensive pick in the game. He's 31%, probably thanks to his 8 attacking returns last season. Do you think that's a bit mad that he's 31% owned and that high?
Yeah, a little bit, to be honest. Is he going to be as bombing forward as last year? I mean, maybe. 4.5 million, like same as this guy. So yeah, I think they're both probably good picks for these the starting fixtures anyway.
Definitely. So obviously, Wan-Bissaka plays right wing back. He managed over 3,100 minutes last season. Juve's come in on a transfer from, I'm just trying to remember the name, Sparta Prague. Last season for them, he had 27 starts, but interestingly, it was more the goals he picked up. He got 7 goals, 2 assists, 9 attacking returns in that league, and he looked really, it's a small sample size pre-season, but he looked really hot in the game against Bournemouth. He was super far forward, played that left wing back role. He probably should have got 2 assists, both for Bowen. Bowen unselfishly squared 1 for Fulcrum when he could have just as easily scored. I can see it playing out that Wan-Bissaka perhaps is in line to get slightly more defensive contribution points, and Diouf could get more attacking returns. So I think they could score similarly. I think the downside of having Wan-Bissaka is if he does poorly with that ownership and you have him, there's the price drop might happen quite quickly. Whereas I think for the other side of that wing back system, he looks like a good bet if you are the type of manager that favours attacking threats over perhaps more reliable DEFCON points.
Yeah, spoilers, he's in my squad at the moment.
Is he?
In my
Okay.
latest draft, so yeah.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
Like him.
3.4, yeah, I like it. I think there's just such more spread of picks. Like for me, I look at lots of teams on Twitter or X and like the teams we share, and I kind of like look at them and think, oh yeah, okay, this looks fairly like template, but you actually look at the ownership of these players and they are low. So I think good differentials.
FPL Harry actually shared like a rotation with him or the West Ham defense and the Palace defense. So if you want to go Diouf and Richards, for example, for both 4.59 million, like you get Sunderland away in the first week, you get Nottingham Forest at home the next week, then Nottingham Forest away, which is not too bad either. Both because Forest aren't scoring goals right now. Then you get Sunderland at home in Gameweek 4, West Ham away in for either Palace or Crystal Palace at home. In Gameweek 5, you got Everton away again, Brentford home, or Bournemouth at home, Leeds away, and Brentford at home. So that's basically green fixtures.
Yeah.
Other than maybe Forest, I guess. Until what game week was that? Let me see. Game week 10. So you've got a really good rotation there. We've talked about maybe not rotating and just having players with contributions, but those two seem like a great option. And obviously Richards rotates well with Contra as well, so you've got a choice of those three fullbacks, 4.5s, to just do whatever with. Really, I like it. Yeah,
really good. I think he could be a really really smart pick. I've just got to complain about the FPL site again. Like I know they meant to have fixed the desktop version earlier, but like as soon as you go any less than that, just having a look at what it looks like on our screen, you barely see like any stats on the player.
Yeah,
it's ridiculously poor. All right, I think that's all we've got for defenders. I think two solid picks. Into midfield we go. Kieran, who we got next?
I mean, I did kind of mention Marlon in the last video. Rogers got injured the other week, or the other day in a preseason game. Came on, played 27 or like no, not 27, like 7 minutes or something like that, and went off injured with his ankle.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess we'll see how bad that was, or if it's like serious, because that could have a boost for Marlon's minutes.
Yeah.
He's under 2% owned at the moment, or was around about 2% anyway.
He's 2.8 as well.
Yeah, nearly as good as Forest to start the season with Newcastle, Brentford, Crystal Palace, Everton, Sunderland, Fulham. Can't match much better there either. And like I said, they've lost Rashford, they've lost Asensio. Like right wing esque is like pretty much open for him or Bailey, I guess. And Bailey has not been favoured for quite a while, basically the whole time he's been at Villa. So Marlon looks like good. He's got 2 goals, 3 assists now in the preseason. He scored in that game when Rodgers went off. So again, he just sort of he came on at halftime. I think they did split sort of 11s. And Watkins with another goal as well. Like he's looking good for Marlon at 5.5 million. A good attacking option. They've also signed like another attacker, which I guess recently is sort of possibly also a minus to his minutes. That's what people are saying. Less so to Watkins, but he is like a striker supposedly, but more of like a kind of false 9/10 striker almost, like the one that kind of drops back a bit. So like we'll see what happens with that. It does kind of put me off him a bit, but if he does get the minutes, which we think he probably will at the start of the season, I think. So 5.5 million, you can't really ask for much less, considering Rodgers may be, crooked right now. So let's see.
Yeah, I've come round to him as a pick. I wasn't so sure about him, but I think with the fact that they haven't signed that many players, and like you say, Rodgers is out, there's more onus on him to start. The only thing which, at the start of preseason, let's say, put me off was the fact that he only managed 2 starts last season. It's like, what do you back? Do you back like what historically about last season? Right, Emery maybe didn't fancy him, and just by him playing and doing well in these preseason games, is that like done a U-turn for him? I think as well also that in the last
has to mean something.
In the last preseason game the other evening when Watkins scored and they were 3 up at halftime, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he didn't start. And he came.
No, he didn't. It was, like I said, I think it was split 11. So like there was lots of like first teamers that weren't starting in the first half, sort of thing.
Got it. No, I agree. I think he could be a smart pick, especially given those fixtures.
Yeah.
On to another one who I feel like I look at a lot of drafts and I'm just like, oh, they're in everyone's draft. But Anderson, like I asked you on Monday, I was like, is it just mad to play like a 5.5 million midfielder every week who's got good DEFCON points? And you were like, I can't remember, you said maybe, but it's not very fun. But
yeah, it's just boring.
It is boring. He's just, but at the same time, he's not left my starting 11 since then. So fixtures are good, like we know for Forest, because I think most people have like doubled or tripled up on Forest with Brentford at home, Crystal Palace away, West Ham at home. They got Arsenal away, then Burnley away, Sunderland away. So they played 2 of the promoted teams in the first 6, which is pretty good before what is looking like a good wildcard window. So he could be a decent fourth mid, and probably like a very good fifth mid to start the season with. His price at 5.5 million allows upgrades elsewhere. So last season he scored 107 points with 33 appearances, 2 goals and 6 assists. So he does have some attacking output. But like we've mentioned a few times this season, it's the DEFCON defensive contribution points that could really turn him into a tidy asset. So last season he would have got 36 points, which was the second most of all mids in the game. So a bit like Neco Williams, he was basically averaging DEFCON every other game. So 54% of games he was getting 3 or 4 points minimum depending on his yellow cards. And if you would add his attacking output, he averaged 4.2 points per game last season. So to put that into context, Rodgers, who was like last season's darling when he started at 5.5 maybe last season.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
So same price. He averaged 4.4 points per game over the season. Eze, obviously more expensive now, but slightly less expensive last season. He was 4.4. So he's just shy of that. And he outperformed Sarr, he outperformed Foden, outperformed Odegaard, outperformed Endai just. So, yeah, I just think last season he scored the same number of points as Brennan Johnson, who had to get 17 attacking returns to do that. And I know DEFCON seems like really boring, and the idea of just waiting for ball recoveries also seems boring, but that's the way the game is going to go this season. And I have at the moment no problem with starting or maybe even full-time playing Anderson for 4-point floor games basically every other game week.
Yeah, I mean, the 6 assists and 2 goals, they're not scoring goals right now, so it's going to be hard for him to get attacking returns if they're not scoring many goals. But they got the fixtures to do it, I guess. So he was in my last draft with the Haaland draft, and I've switched him out for the new one for today. But yeah, he doesn't do it for you, does he? And when I don't know, it's hard for me to get my head around just wanting 4 points a game and rather than attacking returns, because it's all we've wanted for the whole time of ever playing FPL is attacking returns. So it's going to take some getting used to, but need to jump on it fast probably.
Definitely. All right, who else have we got in midfield that's worth chatting about?
Gapco, yes. Kind of mentioned him in my last draft as well. 7.5 million, 4.5% owned at the moment. Decent-ish fixtures to start, like Bournemouth, Newcastle, Arsenal, then Burnley, Everton, Crystal Palace. Obviously, like the transfer window shuts, I think, before Gameweek 4, and he is basically the only one that is playing for that left mid position right now. I would say left wing position. If are they going to buy someone that's going to be around his position? Most likely, right? So,
but I doubt someone to take his spot.
Well, I don't know. If Isak goes there, then Ekitike could play over there. So, like, is that going to affect his minutes? So the fixtures you really want him to definitely be playing for is that Burnley away in 4, and then Everton at home in 5, and obviously Bournemouth at home in the first week. But those 2 games after the window shuts are important, and those are 2 juicy fixtures. So, it's a worry kind of picking him because his minutes could get worse after he's got 2 tough games with Newcastle and Arsenal. So how many returns is he going to get in that? Like, I'm not saying he can't, and he definitely could because Liverpool are just that good in attack. Yeah. But so it puts a little bit of a question mark on him in that scenario. So, but at the moment, Isak might not come. Who knows? Maybe that doesn't even affect his place anyway. And maybe it'll be Ekitike and Isak rotating in the striker position. So who knows, I suppose. But I like him at 7.5 million. Definitely nailed on for the first game. Yeah. I would assume we'll see probably the first team in the Community Shield. So let's just see how they look from there. But he's a great differential right now. And he was good when I had him last season. And yeah, let's see what happens.
And he was tidy the other night against Athletic Club. Like,
Yeah, 2 goals. Yeah.
yeah, just really tidily taken. And he's been on, I just had a look at his season history. He has been on like an upward trajectory. I wouldn't have been able to tell you he'd been there 3 seasons by now, but
No, I looked at that the other day.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, fair enough.
7, 8, and 10. So yeah, with that maybe being first choice left winger.
Yep.
Yeah, it could be his time to shine. Now I'm gonna just like go full ballsy on these midfielders after Anderson. So the one and probably not like a top pick for everyone, but like it's my budget enabler who had been in Tuesday's draft. I think it might have been. So Josh King, who's like the young prodigy basically. He plays for Fulham. He's a 4.5, so not to get confused with that one. He's played for Bournemouth. 0.3% owned. I think the least owned of all the players we're going to talk about. He's a 4.5 million mid. He's quite likely to get minutes this season. He signed a new contract at the beginning of the summer. Fulham haven't signed any players. And in pre-season, he started both games for them and he scored twice. So interestingly, he can play as multiple different roles. He can either play in the holding role, and he played alongside Sander Berge in their first game, but then also he can play the number 10 role. So he's competing with that with Emile Smith-Rowe. And we know last season that Marco Silva didn't 100% fancy Smith-Rowe, and for quite a lot of time his minutes were managed. So someone that's come through at Fulham, young player, and he just looks really exciting. I just think for 4.5 million, he looks like the most likely to get minutes over the season at that price, and he's got a bit of attacking threat as well, as he can play in the number 10 role. So yeah, if you're switching to three big forwards, I think the person you're sort of like pitching him against is Mark Gui, which I read is how you pronounce his name earlier, which is funny.
Okay.
So if you're playing 3-5-2 or 4-3-3, I think King or Gui is the linchpin, and he is the best of the cheap midfielders. And then just to go back to back on Fulham for another midfielder pick is probably just getting your thoughts on Harry Wilson, really, because of all the pre-season, like we say, pre-season can be a good indicator of form sometimes. He's absolutely bossed it this pre-season. 5 goals and 2 assists. You would assume off the back of that he starts the season because, like I say, they haven't signed anyone. His form is, or his like previous history in the Premier League has been pretty patchy. Like, he's not like a big secure minutes player, but at 5.5 million, he could be a rotation option. And Fulham do have some good fixtures if you're looking to wildcard early. They've got Leeds at home and Brentford at home in game weeks 4 and 5. Brighton away is admittedly tough. Chelsea away is going to be of course as well. But
I don't think Brighton away is too bad.
Do you not think
for attacking wise?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I suppose they did concede 7 to Forest last season. So of those sort of opening 6 games, there's like 3 or 4 decent ones in there. And given that he's the most informed player in that Fulham side, I don't really see why he wouldn't start the season, because otherwise, where else are the attacking returns going to come from? So yeah, if you're that 5.5 million slot, Anderson, Marlon, or Harry Wilson, I think are probably the 3 picks. And if you're looking to spend even less, I think King is that one player there.
Yeah, I'm just looking at their preseason. They've got 1 game left, which is against Eintracht Frankfurt on the 9th of 2 days' time. So if he starts that final preseason game, which you're expecting to be the first 11, the final game before the new season. So let's see what he does there. Exciting if he starts that, and they've still not bought anyone. So I think he'd be a good value for sure.
Definitely. All right. Cool. Let's move. And he's low ownership as well. 1.4.
Yeah, indeed.
We're smashing these hidden gems, aren't we? Right. Let's. Should we talk about the forwards now?
Yeah. I'll mention someone I didn't mention the other game. So Pirro at Leeds, 5.5 million. Admittedly, there's a pretty low options at this price point, but 3.4% in at the moment. Decent enough fixtures, I'd say. Everton, Arsenal, Newcastle, not great, but then Fulham, Wolves, and Bournemouth after that. So he's competing with like Beto at 5.5, Muniz, who's possibly even going to Leeds. That's the rumours anyway, and Nketiah at 5.5 as well. So yeah, Beto may start the season, but like he's apparently not been great, and Moyes wants to see more for him, so he's got competition from that Barry guy. And then Nketiah is clearly second choice, and I think he's injured at the moment too. So the choices in that bracket are low, but Pirro, 4 goals in preseason, 1 being a penalty, so it may still be on penalties. It's hard to say if it's going to be first choice because they've brought in like a guy called Nemetra, I think it's called. He could be a starting striker, and I think there was another striker they brought in as well who also might be as well. So I think they still have Bamford on the books as well. So yeah, Pirro at the moment definitely not like nailed, but I think he would probably start the season at least. And yeah, possibly on penalties. If you need the funds, that 0.5 somewhere. If you want to go down from a Fulkrug or a Thiago or something to Pirro, then yeah, you probably could do worse. Like players like Delap in the sort of promoted teams from last season did well. So there is points in these strikers from these teams. I think it was who was that guy from Luton the year before?
Morris.
Yeah, Morris. Like he was pretty good for a while as well. So
yeah.
So there's options in those teams, and you probably shouldn't fully overlook them.
No, definitely. I think I'm definitely guilty of overlooking them. Like I knew he was their starting striker. I wouldn't have been able to tell you he'd scored a penalty in pre-season because, adding penalties onto being a forward is a huge boost.
Yeah.
All right, my one to pick is a little bit dependent on Wissa. So we kind of heard again today in the news that Wissa is reported for training, but he's still keen on leaving. And based on that fact, I just think it's mad that Thiago is perhaps not higher owned. So another one.
I think Thiago's going to play anyway. Even if Wissa's there, I think they might just do it too.
Yeah, I agree. Or play like him just in behind. That's why I'm a bit surprised at the moment. Like he could still be a pick for me. But 1% ownership, it just seems crazy. They've got good fixtures, Brentford. So they obviously play Forest in game week 1, which is not bad. Forest kept obviously a lot of clean sheets, but it's not a bad fixture. They won there last season. They play Villa at home, Sunderland away, Chelsea at home, Fulham away, Man United at home. That's quite a decent block of games, and I appreciate that their team has changed quite a bit, but they've been performing well in pre-season. And just a little bit on Thiago, he was bought in the winter of 2024, so last January he joined Brentford from Club Brugge. In his first pre-season game last year, he picked up a really bad injury, which meant most of last season he missed out. He only played 167 minutes. But with Wissa, like I say, looking for a move, he is in line to start. He was the penalty taker at Club Brugge, and he had a really decent record there as well. He's started both of Brentford's pre-season games so far at centre forward, and he scored a goal. I think probably the best thing about him is his price. Like it's 6 million penalty taker. Looks like he'll be first choice because he was bought to be that.
Wissa stays. Like I imagine he takes pens, but yeah.
Yeah, if Wissa stays, I agree. There's going to be slightly more competition, and maybe that's not great for him. But yeah, I still kind of expect Wissa to go, given that Newcastle just keep getting battered on transfers at the moment, like losing Sesko as well today.
Yeah. It's kind of embarrassing for Newcastle right now. Yeah, really embarrassing.
All the players that have gone to Manchester United this summer were linked like really heavily to Newcastle.
Yeah.
So I think like Newcastle's options now are probably Wissa, Watkins, and Jackson, all players who we know are sort of like itching to leave. There's still like a lot of transfers I think that can change.
I like Jackson. If Isak goes, I like Jackson at Newcastle. That's pretty spicy.
Yeah, he'd be cheap. I think he's 7.5 as well, isn't he?
6.5.
Oh, is he? Oh, yeah, that would be.
Yeah, I'm sure I saw in someone's video it said it was 6.5, but I thought that was wrong. But I guess
no, it is. It's right. Yeah,
it's 6.5. Okay, fair enough.
I'm surprised about that. Yeah, it just shows I've not looked in it, but he's suspended at the start of the season. So yeah, I just like Thiago.
Yeah.
Who else we got for the forward options?
I mean, I mentioned Fulkrug still, I guess, quickly. 6 million, 1.6% owned. I had no idea they had bought Wilson or signed. Well, I think he was a free agent actually, and signed Wilson from Newcastle. So, a little bit worried about that, I guess. But I think at the moment he's certainly for first choice with Bowen, and they're playing a two up front at the moment in preseason. He scored 2 goals in preseason. Getting a decent chunk of minutes. I said there was little competition for his spot, considering they've lost Kudus, but obviously Wilson is probably going to be competition for his spot because Bowen's probably not going anywhere from the starting level. So, he seems to me like a really great pick for bench boost 1 if you're going that way. Sunderland away, 6 million. He's got a pedigree of being a really good striker for good teams, for Germany, for Dortmund. So scored in the Champions League final a couple of years ago, I think it was. Good pick right now as long as he can stay injury free. I like him, and West Ham have decent fixtures that you could rotate with. Rotates okay with Anderson, as he rotates quite well with Palace players as well.
Yep.
If you wanted to rotate a Richards in for one game and then rotate Fulkrug again, that could be something you could do. he's fine. 6 million. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it again, like the 6 million bracket and below is actually not as bad as I first thought. I think there's reasons to pick these players, especially for
Yeah.
the wild card. And then you got one last one.
Do I? Mateta. Yes.
Maybe not so much a hidden gem, but
yeah, not a hidden gem, but he is 6% owned right now. Probably a little bit higher by now, but 4 goals in preseason. Full preseason with Eze and Sarr at the moment. Hopefully Eze stays. Back-to-back double-digit goal seasons he's had. They've kept basically everyone around so far. No big changes, no delayed preseasons or injuries and stuff. So the away games kind of suck. Where he's got Chelsea away, Aston Villa away. Start with he's got Liverpool in the at home in game 6 as well, I think it is. But the other games are pretty good. The home games are Forest. They got Sunderland at home, and they got West Ham away. So they're not that bad, and I think they are getting overlooked attacking wise, especially. So he's absolutely nailed on. Nketiah, like I said, I think he's got a little bit of an injury right now. I don't know what they're going to be like with Europe in this squad, because I think their squad is quite light. But for the time being, at the start of the season, when there's just one game a week, Mateta could be fine. I think they score against Chelsea. I'm certainly not betting on a clean sheet. Chelsea,
I agree.
I think only have one preseason game, so obviously they played the Club World Cup, but they might be a little bit, lethargic to start with, whereas Palace have had a full preseason. So, I think Mateta is going under the radar in terms of 7.5 million strikers and just ownership, and just the fixtures are not as bad as they seem, I think.
Yeah, I think it's nuts as well that we're doing this hidden gem show, but we're talking about pre-season now with like a week out, and we still don't have like a proper pre-season for Man City, who played basically like 4 games at Club World Cup, and we're not having a pre-season for Chelsea. I mean, it's been a while since either of those teams played. I don't know how they get up to speed in a week.
Yeah, on the hub pre-season thing, like City, I've got one game lined up as far as I know. They played one August 2nd behind closed doors against Preston, which is boring. And then they've got August 9th, Manchester City versus Palermo, and that's it. It's not exactly a massive club to like put yourselves against or test your like preseason mettle. It's Palermo, and at home it's not much. And then Chelsea, if I go back up, hold on, go down. Chelsea have got they've got 2. They've got Bayer Leverkusen on August 8th tomorrow. And then they've got AC Milan on the 10th. So those are 2 days apart, though. So they might have split 11s, you'd imagine, or rotation in like 45 minutes in both or whatever. So that's probably a little bit more than City, but a little bit worried about both squads, I suppose, in terms of up to fitness levels.
Yeah, I agree. And just quickly on Palace, it maybe won't affect them too much, but not right after, but 4 days after that Chelsea game and before the Forest game at home, they actually like the Forest game sandwiches their UEFA Conference League sort of qualification games, so they go away after the Forest game, which is about 4 days later. So that's something to consider as well.
Yeah, don't love that.
Should we talk about just very briefly talk about our drafts and do more of a deep dive, because mine hasn't changed too much. I'll put yours up on screen first. What's changed since the other day then?
I think it was. Honestly, I can't even remember now. But I bought in Bruno. I think.
You got rid of him again.
Have I?
Or maybe in the graphic.
I'm sure I said it. Okay, well, I'll just name off what I have got at the moment. So Sanchez in goal. Consa's still there. I've got Diouf for Sunderland away, and then the rotation with Richards/Consa. Neco Williams in defence as well. So I've got a 5 in midfield right now. Wirtz, Gakpo, Bruno is in there, then Palmer. And I've got Arias in there right now from Wolves. And I've got Haaland captain, Watkins up front. And then I've got on the bench Dubravka, who looks like he has actually confirmed to go to Burnley, because he's got a Burnley kit on in the thing. So that's good. Richards as a 4.5, good Palace defender. Steve, good for defensive contributions with Inc, and just a 4.0 is going to start. And then Krupi Jr. is the backup to Evan Nilsson. Looks like he played minutes in preseason when Evan Nilsson came off. So Evan Nilsson comes off a lot in most games, to be honest. And if he's the guy that's going to come on, he could be a number 4.5 who's going to get some minutes. So people are saying he's like a really good talent. So I'm excited to see what he can do. And if he's going to be a better option than Mark Gui or Gu or whatever it was.
So he might get more minutes. I've just managed to find you right. You did send me an updated graphic. I've just got it on the screen now. So you think those Krupi Jr. is going to play more than Gui? Do you?
I'm not going to say more. I'll just say he should. Like Evan Nilsson might come off the 70 minutes games most weeks, and he could get 25 minutes, and just Bournemouth are fine. They're pretty good attacking wise, and Evan Nilsson is a little bit flaky, and so he should get some in. So yeah.
So you've really taken money out of your defence, haven't you, since the other day as well? Is that right?
I'm trying to think. Remember who I had now, but it's not changed a lot. I think it was only like a couple tweaks.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm quite light on the defence compared to most because I've gone a bit higher in the midfield, haven't I? But
definitely,
yeah. So I'm liking the Bruno pick a little bit more than I can't see Cunha and Bruno, Sesko being bad. I just can't see them not scoring goals, and Bruno's going to certainly be involved. He's on penalties confirmed now, pretty much in pre-season. So he's just going to be reliable, I think. So 9 million is a bit of an awkward point, but that midfield looks pretty good to me. That the two in front, other than Arias, looking pretty good to me.
Yeah.
So obviously I've talked about the City pre-season issue possibly, but so that might make me switch back to a non-Haaland draft. So, but we'll see.
But it's been a few
I'm
days
liking
now.
it right now.
Yeah. A few days. I like it.
I'm surprised I'm liking it so much actually. So yeah.
No, I think it looks good. We'll see where you are like this time next week, the night before. All right, I've only made a few changes actually since the other week, since Tuesday. I'm trying to see if I can get it up on screen as well. But it's essentially I've got my team up from Tuesday on screen. So it's essentially this team, but Thiago has gone to Gui because that's what everyone's doing at the moment, and King's gone up to Ndai. But there is a lot of talk that he might be getting sold, which I don't like the sound of.
Is that right? Okay.
And the main change is Bruno down to... I mean, even though on Tuesday's draft show, I was like, yeah, Bruno seems just like the man now. I've just got to have Bruno. And then I watched the highlights of... so I'm just trying to get the team. I watched the highlights of the Athletic Club Liverpool game, and I was just like, oh my days, Wirtz just seems like a budget buster. Like, he was just in the box trying to get on the end of everything in every attack, and he's basically playing like the false nine when Salah or Etiki was live, so was wide. So he missed two big chances in that game. I think he just headed a shot over the bar. Right, I've just updated it now. It should be in place. He just headed a shot over the bar, and he just shinned one at the goalkeeper from about 4 yards out. And I was thinking that the amount of chances Liverpool create, there's no way he's not getting on the end of it. So yeah, I'll just read it through though. Sanchez in goal, Virgil, Saliba, Murillo in defence. Midfield is Palmer, Salah, Anderson, and Ndai, and then Watkins and Strand Larson up front. And the bench is absolutely just budget friendly. Dubravka, Esteve, let's just say Ronaldinho, and Mark Gui. So it's really budget on the defence, and maybe it would just be a bench boost game week 2, but that would kind of suck. It'd be like one attacker against the double Burnley defence. But I don't mind the team at the moment. And Ndai's the question mark really.
Yeah, I found my squad the other day. I had Porro in it, I had Ndiaye in it, and I had Fulkrug in it. So those are the changes where I put Fulkrug down to a 4.5, and Ndiaye went up to Bruno. Anderson went to Arias, and Porro went to who's the guy going there? Diouf. Yeah.
No, I think it's still going to be tinker. I said to you a bit earlier, I was like, I just feel like I'm making loads of drafts at the moment. But maybe after this weekend, where the next big round of friendlies will all be over and the community sheet will be finished, I feel like I have some more answers.
Yeah, I think that's when people get final squads. So once you've seen those final preseason games, those are the ones that matter the most for sure. Definitely. We're nearly there.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up there, and we'll be back next Tuesday evening to do sort of a Game Week 1 preview, and obviously share what our latest drafts are before doing a team selection video on the Thursday evening next week. So 2 more. If you've got any questions, please drop them in the comment section below. If you haven't already, we would love it if you like and subscribe to the channel and join us during this season as we both try. I think the target this season is try and get top 10k for sure. Need to have a good start to make that happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see how we go. Super. All right. Any closing thoughts?
No, that's it.
Cool. All right. We'll see you all on the next one. Bye bye.
Cheers all.